All right, let's talk about Josh Sweat here of the Philadelphia Eagles. So every year, I always do this where I pick a player who I think you could argue could have been the Super Bowl MVP. It's not to take away from Jalen Hurts, who was fantastic, especially in the second half. And hey, if you can justify giving it to a quarterback, then the quarterback's going to win the award. But if I had to give it to someone else, I think Josh Sweat would have been my pick. And it starts off with a play like this, which was such a huge play in the game. The Chiefs find themselves down 17-0. But hey, if you can get a scoring drive here, you get the ball to start the second half. Who knows? Maybe you find yourself down just one score after the opening drive of the second half. At least that's how I'm thinking at this spot. But you see Thuney on this play. He has a one-on-one matchup against, Thuney does have a one-on-one matchup. That's the tackle against Josh Sweat. And Joe Thuney has been a fantastic guard, might be in the Hall of Fame someday at the guard position. He got kicked out to tackle just because they really struggled at the tackle position this year. Eventually, they just tried throwing him out there, and it's been okay. I'd actually say it's been pretty good so far this year, although it was not great in this game. On this play, though, so when you see this begin, honestly, Thuney's in a decent position right here. I think the thing that concerns you about a guard is, you're going to be doing things you're not used to be doing, and he's able to get in position here, but the issue is there's no time as a guard where you kick out that wide and then have to kind of get your feet planted and not allow yourself to get ran over, and Sweat is just going to take advantage of that. He's so strong. Watch as he drives Thuney back into Mahomes. Mahomes throws a pick, and that results in another touchdown, making it 24-0. So, I mean, again, that's kind of when things really got off the rails, I thought, for the Chiefs. I guess the pick six earlier didn't help. But, yeah, I mean, this is what he was able to do, was just consistently making plays. Like this one was another one where it's going to be a one-on-one matchup. He's going up against Travis Kelce. And you might be thinking, well, that feels like a pretty significant advantage for Sweat. Well, he's not actually going up one-on-one against Kelce. Watch how, what you see, he takes the snap. As of right here, it's a designed screen pass, but essentially what happened was Sweat just got through so quickly. He was supposed to get through kind of quickly, but he gets through so quickly, there's nothing Mahomes can do. I actually think that player was supposed to get out and block Sweat, but which is Creed Humphrey, a really good center, but he wasn't expecting Sweat to get through so quickly. Because of this, now you see Sweat ends up being a guy who helps bring Mahomes down. Again, that's just great football by Josh Sweat. It's not a usual situation. And in fact, I thought one of the real specialties of Sweat, while I started off with just a great pass rush play, one of the real things he did well was kind of these little things. Like this play, for example. So he has you're going to see him off the edge right here. And what's interesting is that this isn't going to be one of those plays where he beats a tackle cleanly and it looks awesome and everything works. In fact, you see that Travis Kelce blocks him for a bit, and then he's going up against the left guard, who's maybe not the superstar level player, because, again, he's someone who started to play for most of the season as a backup. But due to the chip from Kelce, they're in an okay position, the Philadelphia Eagles are right here. So, okay, sure, that's good. Excuse me, I said Eagles, I meant Chiefs. But anyway, so Mahomes, here's why I wanted to show this play. So Sweat's mostly taken out of the play at this point, but Mahomes wants to get outside the pocket. 3rd and 9, and he doesn't love what he sees. This is what the Eagles' defensive line in general did, and especially Sweat, of just paying attention to where Mahomes is and being ready if Mahomes tries to get outside the pocket. Watch as when Mahomes tries to get outside the pocket, Sweat's right there, and while he didn't actually make the tackle, he was able to do enough to slow Mahomes down and still get him to the ground with one of his teammates ultimately making the tackle. So, again, it's just good awareness, right? Being a smart player, that's a real positive aspect, obviously. Also, this play, so what's going to happen here is, again, putting extra attention on Sweat. A lot of people have compared this to the Tampa Bay Super Bowl for obvious reasons, Chiefs getting beaten by a lot, and the offensive line not being able to hold too much. But one difference between this Super Bowl and that Super Bowl was in the Tampa Bay Super Bowl, the Chiefs, one of the biggest criticisms after the game was they did not help out their offensive line hardly at all. In this game, that's not the case. You see, they're putting extra bodies on their tackle, to help their tackles pretty consistently. Here, though, it kind of works against them, where Pacheco actually delivers a nice blow to Sweat. But again, this is where you got to love Josh Sweat. He's just a high motor player. He's a high effort player, and he's not going to be one of those guys who just, takes a hit and then says, okay, I'm out of the play. He gets bumped more towards the inside and realizes, hey, there's no one over here. I can just get a straight shot to Mahomes. That's going to be exactly what he does. Helps that Mahomes stepped up in the pocket when he probably should have gone outside. But again, easier to say that while I'm sitting here and having a Diet Coke in my office as opposed to being out there playing the game. But still, the main thing is, again, it's just good awareness from Sweat, noticing where the opening has gone and being able to make a play like that. And also, well, listen, the pass rush is what people are going to talk about, especially when you have 2.5 sacks and another play where you had a pressure that resulted in an interception. But honestly, his run defense was really good as well. So, like, going over here, you might be saying, well, who really cares about run defense? I mean, isn't that like, okay, listen, in some games that really matters. Against the Chiefs, like, that's not what they do. They don't care about the running game. Well, no, they actually do run the ball a decent amount. Like, they like to kind of have a slow, methodical offense. You have to run the ball to do that. On this play, watch, there's two things he does that I really like. First, you see how he's making sure that he's aware of a potential Mahomes rush. That's one little thing that the Eagles did. And, well, again, this game was kind of a blowout, never really mattered. I think it could have mattered had this game been closer and they tried to run with Mahomes more. And maybe they never even tried it because they saw that the Eagles were playing it consistently. So, okay, if Mahomes had the ball, he wouldn't have been able to get very far. You also see that Kareem Hunt is making contact with Travis Kelce. That's not ideal. But watch now, again, Josh Sweat being a high-effort player. Watch him get through the contact of Kelce, and he still helps make that tackle. Again, I'm using Sweat as kind of the example, but you could make this example with a lot of the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line. There was just so much effort that I saw. Like, they were just consistently not letting the small amount of contact stop them and making the tackles when they had a chance to. And then this play as well, where like you have Travis Kelce one-on-one against Josh Sweat. And I know a lot of people might say, well, that's not a good situation. But again, this is kind of what you have to do sometimes in the running game. You do sometimes have, your tight end has to block somebody, right? A lot of times it will be an edge rusher. Also, game situation matters here. This is a 2nd down and 14. The reason why the Chiefs are running the ball while also down 27-0 is to simply surprise the defensive line. I'm sure Josh Sweat knows a passing play is what's probably happening here, which is why they're going to run it. Watch, you see how he starts out wide a little bit. A lot of edge rushers take themselves out of this play. In fact, I would say most do, especially, their eyes get wide going up against a tight end. I think Sweat's just a little bit smarter than that and kind of realizes, wait a second, Travis Kelce going up one-on-one against me, you're probably not doing that in pass protection. Probably what's happening is this is a running play. Could have been a play action as well, but he's just paying attention, realizes that the running back does have the ball in his hands, and watch him get back over and again, able to help make that play. So yeah, again, I thought Sweat was fantastic in this game. He had 2.5 sacks. Okay, that's pretty good. He had another play that directly led to a turnover, so it wasn't just the sacks, it was also some other plays, which is very good. But as a whole, yeah, I just thought that this was a really dominant game from Josh Sweat, who is now going to be a free agent. And what do you do, right? If you're the Eagles, you definitely want him. Like, you can't just let him walk, can you? But at the same time, someone's going to pay him a lot of money if he hits the open market, and that's not the worst. Definitely good timing for Josh Sweat to have such a dominant game in such a dominant moment of the Super Bowl. And again, I can't reiterate this more. They were giving him attention. You can say the tackles aren't very good, but they were paying attention to him. They were trying to take him out of the game, and they just couldn't. And I think that's the most impressive thing. No matter how much they tried to scheme him out of the game, they still failed to do so. And that's why he'd be my pick for Super Bowl MVP, I think, although I'm not mad Hurts got it. But yeah, those are my thoughts on all of this. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.